Straight out the boot room, to Wembley, our second home. We come to conquer, no, we never walk alone. We dominate, the cream of the crop, drawing all our strength from the roar of the cock. It's all for one, and one for all. Pass a move, we're talking total football. Here we go again, Roy's red machine. Liverpool, the greatest team the world has ever seen.
Pass a move, it's the Liverpool crew. Pass a move, it's the Liverpool crew. Pass a move, 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 it's the Liverpool crew.
Hello and welcome back to the Liverpool Groove. Just been watching Jake dance to the intro there. I didn't know if you could see me. Like, having a little bop along, I love it. So we're trying something a bit new today. Hopefully all goes well, all goes smoothly. You know what we're like when it comes to new things. It normally doesn't go well the first time around, so fingers crossed. But trying something a bit different. So let's get into it. West Ham was just disappointing, same as the last few weeks, really. Obviously, a little bit more positive that it wasn't a defeat. Kind of felt like one, the way the game was snatched away from us at the end. But yeah, you know, I went into that game honestly thinking we were going to lose. I said before that I think we'd lose our 2 away games that we had left and win our 2 home games. So the fact that we've already got a point more than I thought we would after that game is something. But game management was just crap again, really, wasn't it? It just wasn't there. As soon as we went 2-1 up, there was no cohesion. There was no, as I say, game management. And as soon as they had a little bit of pressure on us, we folded.
Yeah, I had a feeling we were going to get beat or draw anyway. They've seen how we played against Everton. They just copied it. You know, they've got big units, strong at the back, you know, physically, and that's what they done. They targeted us, and we at times we couldn't cope with it. The goals they scored were good goals, but probably our own downfall again. Poor defensively, and as you say, then we've ended up getting a point in a game that could have went the other way because of how we've been playing. So it's a point that's pretty positive, but you know, we should be beating West Ham when you're still in the chat for a title race. So disappointing results, very much the same as it's been. Lacklustre, lacked energy, missed chances, poor defensively, and when we're 2-1 up, with our game management's piss poor. So we got what we deserved. Probably didn't deserve no more than a win. But I think that's just how the season's panning out now. They're just getting a little bit. They're just going through the gears, plodding on. And I think they all can't wait for it to be over. And I think the fans are pretty much the same.
Yeah, I think, you know, it's mad. We talked about earlier in the season, you know, when we were sort of scraping wins, if you like, and sort of getting them when we maybe haven't deserved them quite as much. And, you know, but we were also saying, we haven't got out of second gear yet. When we do, it's going to be, it's like we've stalled. You know what I mean? We've gone the opposite direction. And it's just, it's a difficult one because, as we've said, like, you know, the start of the season, if you would have told us we'd finish top 4 and win a trophy, then I think every single fan would have bit your hand off for that after last season. But then the way it's panned out, I think if we were just sort of average for the whole season, not really necessarily in with a shout at the title, not really ever worried about losing top 4 at the same time, I think we would have all been a lot more positive, even though the results and the performances haven't quite been there recently. I think the Europa League was a disappointment. I think we all thought we were going to piss that. I was one of them. I'll fully admit I thought we were going to piss it. On paper, we probably should have done. But, you know, football isn't won on paper. So, yeah, the way the season's finished is disappointing. But on the scale of things, as we said last time, for where we were last season, this season is a positive.
Yeah, it is. It's an improvement, lads, on last season, as you just said. You know, we were expecting to do a charge for top 4 and get into the top 4, whether it be last game of the season or whatever, and win a trophy in the meantime. But we should have been all out for the Europa League. I think we let ourselves down in that. We let ourselves down in the FA Cup, and we let ourselves down in the league. But as you say, we've overachieved. We've been over expecting from them because they've been so good, and it feels worse because we got so close. But I think I've said on previous ones, when we dust ourselves down, the season's gone, we'll just remember this as, we took that step from Europa League to playing in the Champions League again, and we won a trophy as well. But I think we've had time to digest that the season hasn't gone as fairy tale as we wanted. Once Klopp announced he was leaving, he was still on for all four at the time, and it's hard to take. But in the big picture, it's been a decent season. It doesn't feel that now. It probably won't when it comes to the end of the season and we're seeing others lifting cups and league titles and that. But in the big picture, our goal was always to finish top four and win a trophy, and we've done that.
Yeah. There was obviously two sort of big moments in the game, one of which wasn't even a football moment. We'll come on to that one second. But obviously the first one, this whole Gakpo incident was bizarre. I think I've seen some people say, Gakpo obviously should have just put the ball in the net. Maybe he should have done. I think people have said he's gave the referee time to sort of get himself out or to reverse his own fuck up. He should have just ran and hit it in and not look back at anything like that. And I think I probably agree with that. But it was a shit show. And you've got Dermot Gallagher on Sky saying he's dug himself out of a hole. He hasn't dug himself out of a hole. He's made it bigger, in my opinion. He's made things worse. I think if he never went over to the keeper and made, we don't know exactly what's being said, and he probably won't release the audio for it, but it looks as if he's gone over to the keeper and gone, go down, you need treatment, it's a free kick. The keeper looked reluctant to go down, but it looks like that's what happened. If he'd just blew his whistle and gone, it's a free kick, I don't think it's as much of it's not as much of a talking point if he just does that, you know what I mean? I think the fact that he's gone over to the keeper and made a big deal out of him going down when he wasn't planning on going down himself is just pathetic.
I think it was just a shambolic situation. Say the keeper's gone down in the box, he's got up, you can see clearly the referee waves play on. The keeper picks the ball up and then drops it. Gakpo, an instant striker, just puts that in the net, not even an afterthought. It's a goal, and the referee's got to make a decision. Now, what does he do? Does VAR step in and embarrass him and say he's fucked up? You can't physically disallow that goal. You blew the whistle for nothing. There's no reason for you to blow your whistle. If you could substitute refs, you'd have substituted in there. It was embarrassing. But yeah, Gallagher saying he's dug himself out of a hole. Referees shouldn't be allowed to dig themselves out of a hole. If they've made a hole, fucking come and address the media after your mistake. But you can't dig yourself out of it by fucking changing the way the game's going to go. A defender can. Defender can make a cock up and dig himself out by fucking bringing a player down or whatever. But a referee can't. A referee can't go, well, I'm going to make this decision that's going to change the path of the game to cover my own back. You can't do that. It's the fucking integrity of the game gone again. And I've said over and over again this season, the referees are in on it together. And I'm not a big conspiracy theory dickhead. I don't think they're all just out to get Liverpool. I just think the test in the waters of how far they can take it. And I think it does seem that every single one of them that are making mistakes, I've got some sort of path leading towards Man City.
And it's important that you said that there, you don't think they're all out to get Liverpool, because we have very openly on this podcast this season made a point in various episodes to talk about referee decisions that haven't involved Liverpool, haven't had any bearing on our season at all. We've made a point of that because of how bad it's been and how much it does need bringing to light. So I think it's important that you brought that up. And I think I don't know, maybe you're onto something there. And, the fact that there's talk of semi-automatic linesmen and things like that, slowly referees, are they getting for, driven out of the game sort of thing? Are they going to become a thing of the past in the next 10 or 15 years? And maybe maybe they're trying to go, look, a robot can't do this job because look how difficult it is for us. It needs a human decision. They're trying to make it so that the more needed in a way. You know what I mean? It's like I don't in their own head at least anyway. But yeah, it was just shambolic, and you had Mike Dean, whenever it was, saying obviously he didn't want to send one of the refs to the monitor because he was his mate and he'd had a bad game. It's like, but that's not your decision to make. You can't just pick and choose when you're going to send someone to the monitor. If he needed to go to the monitor, send them to the monitor, regardless if he had a bad game or not. Like, if fucking Van Dijk makes a last man tackle and brings the man down, is the ref going to go, you know what, you've had a bad game there, I'm not going to send you off?
Exactly.
Go, no, get off, you've fucked up. And
that's how it should be. There's no room for sentiment on either side. There's talk of like Roy Keane and even like Gerrard and that used to say certain things that I think Graham Pollard Gerrard was talking about, used to get in his ear before games, and it meant nothing. The referee's going to go out there and referee the game as best as he can. Nothing you say or do, no atmosphere is going to change the decision. But we've known over the years certain referees did like fold under the pressure. It's like Old Trafford and that. It's just been going on for ages, but now we're starting to see it. There's evidence, they're all mic'd up. Why isn't every referee conversation available to listen to? What's the problem with that? Why isn't it, transparent? Why can't we be downloaded? Why isn't it on the back of every fucking in the back of paper, the transcript of it, of what's being said and done? It should be everywhere after every game, every poor decision. It should be outed. And the fact that they're covering it up it shows you that it's part meant. It's part of a big picture. And I don't know what the big picture is. Sounds like a mad conspiracy, but there's just something going on where they know what they're doing. When you've got lads or whatever, whoever's in the VAR office making decisions that they're making as well, so they're meant to be there to, say to the referee, "Oh, you fucked up there, lad. We're going to overtake." They're not doing it. Nothing's going the right way. VAR isn't helping. The people in VAR aren't helping. The referees are getting worse, not better. The rules are getting worse, not better. And because of it, the game's getting worse and not better. Everything, the structure of football is dying. And if it does go to a point where there's no referees and they're going to have everything automated and everything on camera, then it's still going to be this. It's still going to be the same situation of it. People in offices with screens making decisions, or robots. There's no point. Just keep the linesman, keep the referee, keep the goal line technology, and go back to football being football, where we could go to the pub and argue a decision. If one man makes the mistake on his own without a load of dickheads backing him up, even when it's wrong, you can live with that. You can go to the pub and go, did it, was it a penalty? Wasn't it? Was it a foul? Was it a red card? That's what football's about. It's about debates. All the debates are getting turned against fact. The facts are there to see, and they're still going against it, causing debates that shouldn't be there. It's a blatant red card. We can all see it. It's been slowed down. It's been sped up. Everyone in the world can see it, but the referee and the three in VAR can't. So, the quicker they get rid of it, the better. But will it happen? Never.
No, they've invested too much in it. It's here to stay, and it's why it's so important that they work on it more and get it right. And obviously, the refs clearly need better training. I think it's got worse somehow. I don't know how. Like, the levels were on the floor, and it's somehow, it's falling apart. And it's since Howard Webb comes in, he's made things worse. He's tried to be transparent with this. The refs mic'd up thing, and it's no good. They're picking and choosing certain games. What they should do is just release all the audio, make a website, fucking PGMOL website, and release the audio from every single game and just put it on there, and you can go on and listen to it if you want to. Like, just make it that easy.
Yeah.
And they won't, because then they're under scrutiny all the time and they won't allow that. The referees are so, I've got to be right. Like, my decision is right. I don't care what anyone else says, kind of thing. And, people talk about, like, referees in rugby and how much respect the players have got for them. But, the referees in rugby don't try and be the fucking centre of attention in the game. They don't try and alter the game. They just look at something and go, right, what do we need to look at? Is it this? Is it fucking black and white? Yeah, it is. So this is the decision. but it's related to the stadium, it's related to the players, and they get respect because they're good at the job. Like it's that simple in my eyes, and it's like you can't go, but the referees aren't respected. It's like because they're absolutely atrocious.
Yeah, and they're arrogant with it, lads. Like so when managers are going up and captains are speaking to them, and they're just like, shut up, go away, walk away. And you're like, they're just horrible. I always call them wannabe busies, like they're just arrogant. They're just shit. But when you're going on to the rugby, you'll hear every now and again, like say the fourth official or whatever in the rugby will get into the referee's ear and go, I think you've misjudged that. Go and have a look, you know. And he'll go ahead, right, oh, thank you. And he'll have a look and he'll go, yeah, you're right there. That's wrong. This is the decision. No, like, point to prove. No one battling against each other in the officers or higher and lower. It's just, the right decision for the integrity of the game has got to be made. If I've made a mistake and you can point it out, nice one. If I've made a mistake and you don't point it out and it affects the game, everyone wants me dead. You've pinpointed it. We've corrected it. The game goes on. Everyone's happy. That's it. That's how it should be. It should be that easy.
And they go on about, like, you know, VAR, it's not there to re-ref the game. But, and yeah, I agree that it shouldn't be re-refing the game in full. But, like, there's times where, like, VAR should intervene and it doesn't. And there's too many scenarios where they go, VAR can't intervene in that. But why? Like, this is a crucial decision in a game. Like, why can't it intervene on a second yellow? You know what I mean?
It's like, you know, even the likes of the corners, like we always go on about it. If someone gets fouled or it's the attacking player and goes out and the referee gives a corner, or it hits someone's arm and goes out for a corner and you don't blow and then you score off the corner, that could have been stopped. That could be plain and simple. That's it, his arm, whether it's outside the box or whatever, or that's gone off that player. You can see it, point proven. Yeah. It's there. A corner can lead to a goal. Many games you can see that a corner. So any form of attack where you can benefit from it, VAR should be able to step in and say you've missed that. But and how long would it take for VAR to go? We can see it on the replay right after it happens before the corner's taken. In your ear,
you've got it wrong.
Corner,
like if you can see it on just the regular, you know, on the regular replays in the game, then surely they've got access to, you know, that same stuff there and more. So like it's mad. And you know, even we've gone back to it all season, and it, you know, it's always going to be a talking point. But even, you know, the Diaz goal getting ruled out offside, why couldn't they stop the game? Like it was 30 seconds later, the game's restarted, we can't stop it now. But why? Man United got a penalty after the fucking full-time whistle a few years ago because of VAR. But now you're telling us 30 seconds, 45 seconds later, you can't stop the game to award a fucking legitimate goal. The problem is with it for me is obviously the people using it are just not good enough at the jobs. But also, I think, and I've said this before, I do feel ever so slightly like a little bit like sorry for the referees, because they're changing every rule every single season. There's new rules you've got to try and adapt to every single season. It's like, just leave the rules the fuck alone. We don't need more changes. Don't implement a rule one season and then change it the next season and then change it the season after. It's like it's hard to keep up with, you know what I mean? And obviously that's their job to know. But
sorry, lad, they're changing the rules because the personnel they're getting in to make the rules work and put them in can't do it. And that's where you need to start changing the people at the top. But it's never going to happen, is it? But the likes of, obviously, VAR, as far as I'm concerned, if you've got to slow something down to the point where there's hardly any movement in the image to make it, if you've got to draw a line to give offside or slow the game down that much to make a decision, then it's not obvious, is it? So just go with the benefit of the doubt with the attacker like you used to. You know, if you've got to slow something down to the point where, is that a red card? Or no, it's not. Because if you can't see it in real time and make a decision on that, then it didn't happen in slow time. So you can't give decisions based on slow time or slow down or lines. Go with the instinct. When you see it on a camera, on a replay, bang, flew into him, studs it up, red card. That's it. Or it's not. You go in real play, he's actually made contact with the ball, it's gone. He's followed through, but it's a bullshit.
Yeah. And it's the same. It's the same with offsides. You know, if you've got to zoom into the point where they're no longer like you can no longer make out that the human beings and they're just squares, that they're completely pixelated. That's not clear and obvious that he's on or offside. Like we've got to stop scrutinizing it so much. Like it feels like they're desperate to rule out goals, which is just mad.
That's
Especially
not
when
what we want either as football fans. You don't want to see like the likes of Coventry against Man United where he's off by a toenail. We don't want to see that. If he's off by a fucking body, then that's how it should be. Like if the majority of your body, and you can see the lines in most pictures, if you're well over, then you're offside. But if you're not, if you can't look at that on your telly and go, right, that's a straight line. There's the light green turf, there's the dark green turf. With can't see. No. It's a goal. It's a fucking goal every time.
Yeah.
Every time.
Level doesn't exist anymore, does it? So
disgusting.
But look, we're getting off topic as we tend to do. Yeah. So obviously, how did that all stem from the fucking Gakpo decision?
Because do you know what? If it was the first incident that involved us, I'd go, yeah, fucking it happens. Referees just panicked. I think instead of giving a foul, he sort of played an advantage. Let him throw the ball out. Let him kick it long from further out or whatever. And instead, he's fucking put his head down. Gakpo's gone to score. Referee shit himself. Yeah. So whether in the back of his mind, he should have given a free kick from inside the 6-yard box originally. That might have been it. But regardless, it's a massive fuck up, and it's happening to us every single game, and it's happening to others around the country every single game. So, you know, I think even my dad, who's not like that whatsoever, said to me the other day, it feels like they're just chasing Liverpool and Everton. They're doing everything they can to stop us winning the league and everything they can to stop them going down, which is unfortunate. But
very.
It just seems very strange that a lot of teams are getting it a lot more. I think like 40% of all mistakes have been against Liverpool, which is fucking bizarre.
Yeah.
It is bizarre. But,
no, it's just, as I say, they're just awful. But let's move on to the other talking point from the game. Outside of the football, then was obviously the spat, let's say, between Klopp and Salah. Obviously, we don't know what's being said by either party. Doesn't look great just from a sort of body language, looking at it kind of thing from Salah. Doesn't look great from him. Looks like Klopp was, much more calm about what was being said than Salah was. But at the same time, as I say, we don't know what's being said. Klopp might have said something that has inadvertently really pissed Salah off. And look, they're both winners at the end of the day. They both want what's best for Liverpool Football Club. Obviously Klopp hasn't got long left. Sad times. But yeah, they both want what's best for Liverpool, and the last few weeks hasn't been what's best for Liverpool. So, emotions are high, and they're not always going to see eye to eye on everything. And as I say, when you're in bad form, the littlest thing is going to just tick it off. And I think that's probably just what's happened.
Yeah, you've seen it loads of times with players coming off the pitch. Salah's one of them. He's stroppy, rips his little armband off and, throws it. It's happened with Nunes. It's happened with Henderson, Milner in the past where they don't want to come off. I've never seen it before when a play's going on. But, we don't know what's happened, what's been said, the reason for it. But Klopp instigates it. Klopp says something to Salah to make him react the way he does. What it is, we don't know. But whether Salah's took something the wrong way or he's just a bit genuinely embarrassed and pissed off to be coming on for 7 minutes when it's 2-2. I don't know. But to react like that's poor. But it's a heat of the moment, isn't it? A lot of the stuff you do is in the heat of the moment. Something's being said that you're not happy with and you respond. And, it would have been better if it was done behind closed doors. It probably happens most weeks behind closed doors with different players for different things. But yeah, you can't react like that to your manager. But if it was for nothing, I'd just go, yeah, sound. But you see Klopp blatantly trigger him. So I think they're both in the wrong. I think, you know, people are getting far-fetched saying Salah should never play again and all that shite. You know, I want my players to be fucking angry when the team's playing shit in a different manner, but you know, you can see the emotion in some of them anyway, where they're fucking sick to death of what's happening to us. They thought they were going to win a league, and there was talk of winning all the cups, and now we're just fizzling out. And I think to the bigger players, it's annoying them. I think all the players are annoying them. Salah's getting loads of shit. I've said it fucking stood on the top of a hill and I'm singing it. He's getting loads of shit because we're not playing to suit him. The system doesn't fit him anymore. We're not playing in a manner that gets the best out of Mo Salah. His numbers, I think he's scored like 23 goals. Or sorry, is it 23
something
goals?
Like that, yeah, 23, 24, something like that.
In something like 30 odd games with like 10 assists. His numbers are still sound. He would have had about 10 more assists if Núñez and Diaz could finish the dinner. You know, some of the passes he's made from deep into behind and chances he's created has been brilliant. But we're not playing in the way where he's at the edge of their box and we can get it into him and he can wriggle through. Or he can play a 1-2 and move. The gaps in between our forwards is bizarre. Really is. There's not a pass on. If you're out wide, there's not a pass within 10, 15 yards of you unless it's backwards. And Salah's getting the brunt of it, getting the brunt of the shift from the fans. And I disagree with it, to be honest, because you can say, I know people are saying his body language and all that. I think he just looks fed up in general in the way the team's playing. I think he stood at the edge of the box at times and they're fucking passing it around Canate to Van Dijk to Alisson when we're getting beat. So I think as a winner and as a top performer over a period of time, he's been nothing but consistent. I think it's just fucking grinding him down. So I think at the moment, you know, you play a team and a system that benefits getting the best out of him for the last 3 games, or you just agree that we're folding.
Yeah, no, I agree with you about the system, and I think Salah, I think he's going to get a lot of the brunt of you know, people's frustrations because of how good he has been for us and how often he has actually pulled us out of the shit. You know what I mean? I think people are noticing that he's not doing it this time, and you are probably onto something there, as I say, with regards to not playing a system that suits him to the best of his ability at the minute. As I say, I think we're keeping him too wide. We're not allowing him to come inside as nearly as often as he used to.
Wide deep as well, though, isn't he? So he's sort of on the halfway line, but out wide. And then when we do actually, like, if you think of our best football under Jurgen Klopp, it was the 2 fullbacks playing as fullbacks, playing up the wings and putting balls into the box, playing 1-2s. And sometimes it'd be Trent to Salah, and then Salah would turn in quick onto his left foot, wriggle through, get a pass off to the 6-yard box and we score, or he'd shoot. Now it's Trent hitting it long into the middle, and eventually it might get put out to Salah on the wing, who can do absolutely nothing with it because there's not a pass on. The same with Diaz. I said it after the Everton game. We all saying about how Diaz used to be brilliant before his injury. It's nothing to do with his injury. It's to do with the system. There's no capability of doing what he used to do because we don't play that way anymore. We're trying to play as we used to when we had the likes of Mane and Firmino, and it doesn't fit this group of players. There's players there that have gone that we haven't replaced in terms of the same quality, the same ability, the same actual fitness levels of them. The likes of Wijnaldum. We still haven't replaced the midfield like Wijnaldum. We still haven't replaced Mane, like for like. And obviously Salah's getting older and he's getting the blame for a lot of it. But like the system doesn't suit. We're trying to still play that way without the capability of doing it. And it's just lethargic and dead. So that's all I can say about it. Like, I think we need to make a few tweaks. If you play at Harvey Elliott, who's going to run round, the best we've played in some games, the likes of that Chelsea game in the Cup, where we run them ragged, we pressed them to death. We had the ball zipping around their box. It looked like a matter of time before we scored, while still being, vulnerable on the counter attack. But that we had kids playing. We had young lads playing in different positions, and we just looked well better and well more full of energy when we had it happening.
Yeah, yeah. No, you're right. I think the movement, I've said it for a few weeks now, has just been horrendous in front of, the back four, the back six maybe. And there's just been nothing. People are getting on the players for constantly passing backwards and sideways, but it's like, again, like you said, it's getting to Trent and he's just hitting it up the pitch, and we're giving the ball away cheaply. It's like it's a no-win scenario for them at the minute, but there's no urgency, there's no there's just no anything there at the
I
minute,
know.
and we're suffering for it. So obviously we're just turning the ball over constantly, and it's like, when you're 3-0 down against Atlanta and we're still doing it, or you're 2-0 down at Goodison and you're still doing it, it's like it pisses you off. But again, at the same time, you've got to understand, like, they can only do what they can with the ball. If there's people moving, if everyone's just standing still waiting for the ball to feed, then we're not going to fucking do anything.
But that's why I go at like the likes of Van Dijk. I think you need a manager on the pitch. You need, like what Henderson used to be. Henderson would have a word with them and tell them what they need to be doing and how they need to be doing it. And Van Dijk's not. Van Dijk's just passing it round the back himself. He should be fucking saying to Canate, come on, let's push out with the ball. Let's get out, screaming at people, move for me, give me a pass. You come here, drag that defender, and you go there. It's like a game of chess, and we're just not on the same wavelength at the minute. It frustrates me because it is annoying watching us pass around the back, and then you see, Trent tries to be the superstar with the Hollywood ball, which a lot of the time it works, but even that of late, like since he's been back in, it's not going our way. We're just not capable of doing it at the moment, and that's why I think I've said before, as gutted and heartbroken as we are that Jurgen's going, it all of a sudden feels like a freshen up's needed, and I wish the freshen up was with Jurgen. I wish it was players getting shipped on and Jurgen staying and saying, listen, this is not what we need to play the way I want to play. We need to get into the market and buy players, but unfortunately it's not going to be that way. So I think when the new fella comes in, you might see it like a rude awakening for some of these players, because they are getting away at the moment with just trotting around the pitch and playing the system that doesn't work. And I don't think it's a system that the managers put in place that doesn't work. I just think these players aren't able to do it, and that's why it is the way it is. I just want to see one such football, players getting into gaps. The best we played for a while was Fulham, when we made all them changes and we were zipping it round, and the likes of the Jota goal where it's getting passed down the box, a one touch ball in, and he's in the box one-on-one with the keeper. That's how it needs to be. It used to be like that every week. Now the chances we are creating are they're not half chances, but they're from nothing. You know what I mean? It's like a loop ball over the box of the likes of Nunes, or a parry out to one of our strikers. And just from top to bottom, defensively, we look poor. Alisson hasn't been on his best since he come back. Midfield's a bit lethargic, a little bit sideways. No balls in it at all. No one going to grab the game and bombard forwards to try and get you them wins when you're desperate. And it's affecting the whole attacking. But when we do create chances, they miss anyway. So just a bad moment for us as a team, as a club. And we will come out of it. We definitely will come out of it. But it needs a little bit of a freshen up.
Yeah, obviously, I mean, you talk about the new manager coming in, and we'll come on to that in a minute. But I think the thing is with Salah, people have said, as you mentioned, that's him gone. We need to sell him. We need to cash in, and I'll admit, I've said, the thought of it isn't as worrying for me as it would have been the start of the season. But that being said, obviously he's the news coming out this week is that he's committed to next season. He wants to stay. He's got no intention of leaving. He's from what we understand, Slot is very keen on having him there next season. Clubs in Saudi are of the understanding that he's not going anywhere this summer. And his contract situation is going to be discussed when Richard Hughes is in the job fully and the new manager's in the job fully. So it's good news to have, I think. I think it puts a lot of the doubt away. We can go a big player is staying. He's sticking around. It's not just a Klopp thing. He's sticking with Liverpool. He wants to be around for this new regime. Are you happy that this news has come out? Are you relieved? Are you surprised by it?
A bit of all of it, yeah. I think the one player I want to keep is Mo Salah. I'm not even being dramatic. I think it's the end of an era for a lot of them. You know, I think we've had the best of most of them. I think some of the new lads coming in, I'm not going to judge anyone who's just come in, but a few of them aren't to the level that we are, as you'd expect at Liverpool. I think, you know, you've got to give them another season, but I think if you could make a few changes, we would. You know, keeping Mo Salah, keeping experience. You know, we seen last summer letting key older players go, the likes of Hendersons, the likes of Milners, Firminos, the vital parts of the training ground, the dressing room, and I think a lot died when they went. Although we've had you know, I could be talking shit because we've had a brilliant 6 months of the season, really, but something in the back, we haven't looked like the same clique of players where we're all a team and we're all in unison as one. You know what I mean? So keeping Salah, keeping the likes of your Allisons and that is vital to going to the next level with a new manager. But in the same sentence, there's older players and key players there that, you know, if someone come in with dough, I wouldn't worry about it. Wouldn't bat an eyelid. You know that when you've got players that are just carrying you a little bit, like your Coutinho's, you're desperate not to lose him. Your Suarez's, your Torres. I don't feel like we've got any of them at the moment. So I feel like I just feel like I wouldn't be asked. I don't think there's a player that goes that hinders us too much, basically.
Yeah, which is a mad statement, isn't it? When you think about like what we've been talking about with them.
It could just be cry arson because I've got a cob on because of the results and the way we're playing at the moment. You know, I go on about Van Dijk all the time and Núñez all the time, but you know, Núñez has had spells where he's looked like the player we wanted. Van Dijk's had spells where he's looked like the player he was and back to being the best. And then all of a sudden there's like a switch and the pair of them just turn off, malfunction and become everything you don't want them to be. My first thing I'd do as Arne Slot is change captain. Really would. Genuinely would. I'd swap him. I'd give Robbo the armband straight away, 100%.
I can't see it with the Dutch connection, to be honest.
When Van Dijk was announced as captain, I said, give it to Robbo or Trent, one or the other. Even that Trent's not going to go and fucking drag anyone and have a go at you. You know, Robbo does. You seen Robbo the other day when he scored and he ran back, didn't even actually celebrate. What he wants to do is get everyone started talking to players, commanding them what they should be doing, and he's the only one. He's the only one. But they say, don't they? There's always one player that you take a disliking to, and at the minute, mind Van Dijk, I just think he's really letting us down. It's pissing me off as a leader, as captain. You know, even as a leader at the back, if he wasn't captain, he's keeping players on side half the time. He's too slow to get out. He's too slow to react. He doesn't block. He doesn't tackle. He just trots around with that demeanour that he's the big I am, and it started getting to me, as you can probably tell.
No, it's not. No, tell at all. No, yeah, I think it's frustrating with Van Dijk because he has been at his best again this season for the most part, and you know we know how good he actually is. He was fucking 7 points away or something from winning the Ballon d'Or a few years ago. It's like that's the level he can still possibly be at, you know what I mean? And it's like he's been exposed a bit the last few weeks, and as we always say, he defends with order. He doesn't like putting a foot in and stuff like that. Throw that out the window, fucking throw your foot in, win the ball, get it gone.
It's not even like players are skinning him and getting past him where he's letting us down. It's not that part of the game that's killing us. It is that they're not sticking a leg out to block shots and turning his back on shots and moving out the way and stuff and not getting out to players. You know, we've conceded shots from outside the box where if you literally take a step out, you've blocked it and we're moving out the way. It's that side of the game. We haven't got anyone at the back who tells the others, you know, you've got 4 at the back. make a line, stay in line with me. I am the last man. Don't go behind me. And there's none of that. I've said loads when they analyse Arsenal and Man City, and you look at the way their defences are in sync with each other, and how they just click back into a defensive mode from an offensive. We don't do it. We're just all over the place all the time, and I put that down to leadership. You know, you can work on things, but if you haven't got someone being the leader on the pitch, some players need to be told where to go all the time. You see it at every level of football. You might have a really good player who can get another 10% out of someone who's not quite as good just by telling them where to go and what to do with the ball. You know what I mean? You see it all the time. So sometimes you need that, and I don't think he's doing it. I personally don't. But again, that might just be because I've got a cob on with.
Yeah, no, you're onto something. It may just be.
Salah, I would keep him.
Yeah, again, how you went to that, I'll never know. Yeah. So, obviously, we said we talk about Slot a bit. I just wanted to touch on briefly the other bits of sort of news that have come out from the club this week. And obviously, the first one, you know, they've basically scrapped the parade that they had planned for the end of the season. You know, we kind of touched on this a few weeks ago and said, you know, we'd look stupid if we just paraded the Carabao Cup on its own. And you know, I think you said, don't do that. Have a, you know, bring all the trophies that we've won with Klopp, have all the dates on, so it's not like we're saying, oh, we've won them all in one go, and just have it as a celebration of Klopp. But I think the problem is with that is that Klopp doesn't want that, which is a shame. Like, but I think scrapping the parade, if it was going to be solely based on what we won this season, is the right call based on the fact that it is just going to be a Carabao Cup.
The way the season's gone and the way we've just depleted and gone into shit, I don't think he would want that. As you know, we don't deserve a parade, unfortunately. Klopp does for everything he's done, but the players don't this season. You get parades for winning big trophies, and unfortunately, we haven't done it. So he's right, but I wouldn't have any issue if they come out and said we are bringing now the trophies to certain areas. You know, come and have a wave of Klopp and that, because not everyone's going to be in the Wolves game. You know, 90% of Liverpool fans aren't going to be in the Wolves game. You'd have people travelling around the city from all over the place to come and say to Arne Slot for a parade. It outdo most of them. So
yeah, 100%.
I've got no doubt about that. You can say we'll look stupid or whatever. I couldn't give a fuck now. I made a post myself, a comment myself yesterday, and then someone actually put, why give a fuck about what others think? And I thought, you know what, you're right. Fucking our manager. It's our Bill Shankly that. Let's send them off properly. I'd love to do something a bit different, like, you know, but what he's not going. He doesn't like the attention as much as it sounds mad, because he's always like doing stuff on the camera and that. But you know yourself, I've went to that night with him, didn't I?
Did you? Yeah. No, you haven't brought it up for a few weeks. I forgot about it.
So that night at the Shankly, he just went to bits when we were singing at him, lad. He just looked shy. You know, fucking, don't get me wrong, there's a room of grown men singing at you. It's a bit weird, isn't it? But
yeah, when you're not in a band, yeah. Like,
no, do you know what I mean? But like, he just looked shy. He was just smiling and clapping along, and I'd love to just sit him on a stage at Sefton Park or Stanley Park and just fill it with fucking ale and people and songs, and let him just have a party with the fans, just to say to that'd be more fitting for me. Watch him get pissed on the Erdinger, singing, dancing, doing handstands. Be fucking brilliant. But it's not to be. We can't parade the Carabao Cup, and if they're not going to bring the lot and he doesn't want it, then it is what it is. But
yeah,
the tickets have gone down from 25 grand to like 6 ton now, so I'm debating.
Fair enough. Yeah, I suppose that's the one very small silver lining of your season collapsing at the end of it, that the tickets go from grands to just hundreds. You know, so there's always a positive, isn't there? Yeah. The only other bit of news outside of Arne Slot is obviously just being broke today. John Achterberg is going to be leaving the club after 15 years at the end of the season, after when his contract expires. And you know what? he's done a great job. I don't care what anybody says. You put a post on Twitter today, and I think summed it up perfectly. When the keepers are playing well, it's all down to the keepers. But when they're playing bad, it's John Achterberg's fault. I think he's put up with so much shit. He's so much unnecessary stick. But you know what? Like he's the man who. He's the Jurgen Klopp of the keepers, if you like. You know what I mean? He's in charge of them, and you see how close all the keepers are. They're like a little clique themselves. You know, that's why Adrian's so happy to stick around, because of the way they all are together. And that stems, for me, from John Achterberg. And I think he's going to be missed. I really, really do. I think it's he let him go off and do what he wants to do. But I do genuinely think he's going to be missed massively.
Yeah, he will. Do you know what? I think if we keep all the keepers as well, I think they'll just be looking at a thing and fucking hell, who else is going to go?
Yeah.
What else can go wrong here now? Because and that could bring like decisions in some of the goalies, whether they want to stay or go, because you build up relationships, and no one plays for a club they hate playing for. No one plays for an atmosphere that they don't like going into it. We've gone. I think no, I'm not saying we've gone from a team that was, but what I've just been discussing before, when we had the likes of Henderson and Milner and all that, the clique that was there, you could see the players absolutely loved turning up to work. And I think Achterberg has, and I just think there's just so many changes all at once after losing so many experienced players last year. It's just all come too soon, hasn't it? Achterberg's done brilliant. He's had 15 years he's had some really good goalies, some shite. Some of the shite he's made a bit better. The likes of Mignolet was a five-a-side goalie. He done wonders with him for a season or two, where he was just a great shot stopper. Karius, I don't think he could even help him. But you look
at someone like Kelleher, though, lad, who when we signed him, don't forget he'd only been a keeper for 2 years. He was a striker. That's why he's so good with his feet. He was a striker. He'd been a keeper for 2 years, and the fact that he's been nurtured by the club to the point where we've gone. He's the best number 2 in the world, and at a point this season, we were like, take as much time as you need, Alisson, to come back. We're not asked. We've got Kelleher there, and that starts with Achterberg.
Yeah, I agree. Totally agree, lad. I think he deserves nothing but credit. You've got lunatics who, when the defence are playing bad, they'd want to blame a defensive coach. You'd had fellas moaning that we had a long throw coach. The physios are at fault for players getting injured. They're all mad. It happens in footy. They just want to blame someone, but they can't blame. Alisson could literally shit in his hands and throw the ball into the roof of his own net to cost us a trophy, and no one had moaned. They blame John Achterberg.
Yeah.
So that's just the way it is.
Interesting analogy there.
He's got that job. He's got that job where he just when a player's untouchable, that's the turn. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Just completely off topic with what you just said there. That's got to be a red card offence, surely, if he was to do that, though. Just for sanitary reasons alone, like, you know what I mean?
Come out quick and you never see it.
Get VAR on it.
You have to strain.
Yeah. VAR needed to slow it down just to see if it was clear and obvious. Anyway, completely off topic. Yeah, no, you're absolutely right, though. He's been massive, and yeah, there's lunatics out there who want to blame everybody but your untouchable players, and it's stupid. But yeah, he's been great, and Jurgen Klopp obviously knows how vital he's been. Otherwise, he wouldn't have kept him around.
Exactly.
And so that's good enough for me. But yeah, so just another one leaving. It's we were already Jurgen, Pep Linders, I think Peter Kravitz is going, Vitor Matos, and obviously now John Achterberg. But I get it. They all just they've done the job together. They want to finish it together in a way, and I get it, and that's why everyone's going, get Pep Linders in. It's like, it's not happening. Just like, forget about it. He's going, and he deserves to go and try and carve out a career outside of Liverpool, and who knows, in a few years it might, we might be in a position where we look to bring him back as manager. Never know.
Hopefully not. Hopefully
not. Don't get me wrong.
But no, Pep Linders deserves it, and to be honest with you, I think Pep Linders would have been approached the discussion, would you be interested in being interviewed for it? And I think point blank, no, is the answer. I think that's it. They've all gone with the ship captain's going, and they're all going with him. They've been here all together. They've won together. They've lost together. They've won everything they can together. And why would you chance tarnishing their memories with the best manager in the world to go through a transitional period with a new fella? I think they're all right in doing what they're doing. I think the loyalty they're showing to Jurgen Klopp is absolutely correct thing to do. And I think they walk away as a team. Just obviously we've got to rebuild now. And I think if we didn't have Michael Edwards at the top employing people based on what he's done in the past, I'd be a bit fucking concerned. But they judge the situation based on what we've done when we've been in this time, time of change before. And it was that man and that team that came in. So hopefully we can get something similar.
Yeah, and just before we again, we will move on to Arne Slot in a minute. But before I do, I think one thing I've said about Pep Lijnders potentially becoming manager before, obviously we knew he was going to be, is the same thing you said about Xabi Alonso. That the pressure I feel would have been heightened on a Pep Lijnders because of his history with the club, because he's been there with Jurgen. I think fans would have just expected it to be a complete continuation of what Jurgen Klopp's done, and if it didn't go right, he wouldn't have got as much time to turn it around. I don't feel as opposed to a brand new manager, and I feel like what you've said about Alonso is probably very much the same kettle of fish there with them two.
Yeah, I agree. I think the thing is as well, like Pep Lijnders was obviously bringing his ideas to Jurgen Klopp, who oversees them and goes, yeah, that's a good idea. I'll pick that. I'll take that. I'll put that into my plan. If Pep Lijnders is doing that, he's got to have some input from someone. So there's always someone missing from the chain. If Pep Lijnders comes in, he needs someone to speak to and someone to be underneath him in a manner that isn't overpowering, but will have decent advice that can change a game like Lijnders has for us. So I think Alonso would have been a lot of pressure, too much too soon. I think Lijnders deserved the chance, but it's just total respect. I'm wondering in my head if Lijnders might have a shot at the final job.
Maybe, yeah.
Because that'd be like a nice little novelty, a nice ta-ra for him that he's replacing that fella.
Yeah. Well, I know there was talk that he was gonna be able to shout for the Ajax job, but now I've seen rumours that that's apparently going to be Graham Potter.
Fucking hell.
Which is, you know what, he'll do well there. I think his football doesn't suit English football. Although he done well with Brighton, I don't think his football suits English football. I think he needs to be in Europe. I think he'll actually do well there, to be honest. But yeah, obviously Slot is practically a done deal now. But it seems like we're just waiting for the official confirmation from both sides. But I don't think he wasn't on a lot of people's lists as who was going to be manager. There's a lot of fans out there who wouldn't have even heard of him. You're probably one of them, because I know you're not the biggest on football outside of Liverpool, in all honesty. But a lot of people would have been, a lot of people have been underwhelmed with it. I'm not. I'm really looking forward to it. Not obviously because I want to get rid of Jurgen and anything, but we know it's happening. I'm trying to embrace it as best I can. You know what I mean? I think he plays very good football, very attack-minded football. Doesn't like playing long balls, I've read earlier today as well. Very against it, which we need to stop doing. I know, yeah. No, but we need to go away from that because that's what's been killing us lately. But he seems like we always said we needed someone completely different than Klopp, and I feel like we're actually getting somebody who is quite similar to him in how he is. I think, from what I've read and heard and things like that, Feyenoord fans are really gutted to be losing him. And so that's what I want, though, in a way. I want to get somebody from a team whose fans feel the way we do about Jurgen leaving. I want a manager who's been able to build that rapport with fans in a very short amount of time. Don't forget, he's only been there like 2-3 years. So the fact that they're so devastated to lose him after that period of time, like, I think speaks volumes.
Yeah, it does. You know, what you're saying there, like, people, maybe including myself, didn't know who he was, don't know who they are. And I did know who he was. I didn't know who Ruben Amorim was, whatever his name is. I weren't watching any progress as Abby Alonso and how they were doing until we were linked to them. So, you know, it's one of them. You're taking interest in what concerns Liverpool, and when names are getting linked, the same with players. You know, I'm not going to sit there and go, I've seen this player play, we should go and get him, because I don't. I only take interest once we're linked. I think that's how I enjoy football. I enjoy it through Liverpool, and majority Liverpool only. So, Arne Slot, me mate posted a post about it in 2022 that he'd been to Rotterdam to watch Arne Slot's finals, and he gives them a good shot at the league. The fans are going to be this is a Scouse lad, by the way, Darren. You know, their fans are going to embrace him and enjoy him because he's the epitome of what they want at a football club. He's gonna take it to Ajax, which they really want to do. They hate them, and he's gonna give them a shot of glory. Well, he didn't say that, but that's what he said to me personally.
Yeah.
He posted that he'd been and that he'd seen the game, and that Arne Slot was going to give them a chance at the league title. That was game one in the league. And he did. He went on to win the league, and then the year later they've gone on to win the cup. I've got a mate who I met through Darren, Nick, who is final through and through. Like, if you even mention Ajax in front of him, he wants to bottle you. He's proper Rotterdam, like, to the core. He's posting stuff on Instagram, like, you know, where they've got a bird and a fella. Imagine what he's thinking, and it's him. Oh, what are we going to do without Arne Slot? So I messaged him, and he's devastated, like the gutter. They don't see where they go from here without him, and you know that's credit. Since we've been linked with him, I've watched videos and press conferences and interviews with him. I've seen him do a similar thing to Bill Shankly, where he's outside the main building, addressing the crowd in the street. You know, telling them how much they mean to the club and how much it's a privilege to work and play for them and that. And I just think stuff like that, I've said all along, I want the complete opposite of Jürgen. And then you get a character like him who excites you instantly a little bit, which is mad, because the thought of Jürgen Klopp knocks me sick. But when you've got someone who's going to come in and be their own person in a different way, but still have the character of a genuine sound fella, that's what you want. You know, you're not going to replace Jürgen Klopp's character or him as a man. What he does for communities, his thought process in politics and all that, is Liverpool down to a T. Like the famous Shankly saying, I was made for Liverpool. Liverpool was made for me. That was Jürgen Klopp. Jürgen Klopp could get that tattooed on him and it wouldn't look a bit out of place, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But with Arne Slot, he seems to be the same. He seems to want players that have got personalities, that want to work hard, no big egos. He plays attacking style football. He wants to win in the right way. You know, he's happy working on a budget where he has to use younger players and stuff like that, which, again, that gets ridiculed by dickheads. But that's what a coach and a manager is. Can work with what he's got and get the best out of players. And we've got a decent enough academy and a decent enough young squad to work with that. So as much as we're all fucking absolutely devastated Jürgen Klopp's going, it looks like a step in the right direction for the future, because you can't replace Jürgen Klopp. All you can do is try and sugarcoat it a little bit with someone half decent, and that's what we're doing. He looks a decent fella, and he's won a league title in a hard league to win when you've got two top dogs. And he's won a cup, so just got to. If he does come in, you know, it's not 100% confirmed yet. You never know with Liverpool, but you've got to get behind him. Got to see for what it is. It's a new roller coaster. It's a new challenge, and we've just got to be there for him.
Yeah, absolutely. We will hopefully have a bit more dedicated Arne Slot content coming in the next, hopefully, few days and weeks. So not going to reveal too much about it at the minute, because you know these things are never set in stone. But yeah, just, you know, keep your eyes and ears peeled for more Arne Slot content, because hopefully we've got a couple of good things lined up there. But yeah, I'm looking forward. As I say, it's weird. It's weird to say when you're losing Jurgen Klopp that you're looking forward to the next guy. But I am in a way, and obviously there's all the talk about him coming in and being a head coach rather than a manager. I know people aren't too keen on that, but at the same time, I think it's going to benefit him a lot simply because that is very much how he would do things in the Netherlands. It's very much the technical directors are the the face of the club, let's say, and the manager and the head coach rather is there to worry about the football. And I think coming into that same sort of environment at Liverpool, where obviously Michael Edwards overseeing everything, Richard Hughes then overseeing things at Liverpool kind of thing, having a bit of a hierarchy there I think it's going to benefit him a lot, because it's what he's used to.
It just depends how far-fetched it is. Like, if he's just in charge of playing with the players he's got and he hasn't got a say in signings and stuff, then I don't think that ever works. I don't think any manager can work under them conditions where you're dictated to who they're buying and where they play. Like, as I think I've said before, like, if you're getting given a player for £100 million that you don't think fits your system, doesn't fit your team, and you peer pressure into playing them, you're not the manager or the head coach, you're just a yes man. So that's what we don't want. We want someone who can come in, work with the players he's got, give a list over and say, listen, out of these 3 players, get me one of them, any one of them, I'll be happy. If you think someone, with better analytics and attributes based on paper and stats, then I'm willing to have a conversation about it, weigh it up. If your man's half the price of my man, but the same on level on what you've got in front of you on the computer, then we'll discuss it. But it not going to be dictated to the manager.
I think
in my head.
I think he's got to be sort of going, look, this is the profile of player I want. I want to fucking ball playing centre half. I want somebody who's brave with the ball, going to bring it forward, blah, blah, blah. I think he'll be saying, this is the type of profile player I want. Do what you've got to do. Bring me someone who fits the profile that I need. And then as long as it's that, I think it'll be okay. I don't think it's going to be, you had it years ago with Rafa when we got Robbie Keane. And obviously it's clear that he wasn't a Rafa sign and Rafa didn't want him. And so it didn't work with him. And I think, but Rafa was the manager. And I think that was the difference then. I think if he's coming into the club knowing exactly how it's going to be and that he's not going to necessarily have a say in the particular players that we're signing, but as long as he does get the type of player that he wants, I can't see there being too much of an issue myself.
But whatever the discussion they're having, he'll know exactly where he stands with it all. So yeah, there won't be any issues at all. It's just me from a respect point of view.
Yeah.
If he's got a list of actual players' names that he really wants, then they've got to show interest in getting them for him. Again, if you're a player, you like the personality, the character of someone that you've worked with before or whatever, then it always stands you in good stead. Bring them in here. So I think that's a key thing. We might get 1 or 2 from from Feyenoord or wherever the new manager's coming from, in case it's not him. But yeah, you just gotta. He's obviously gonna have to. Whoever comes in is gonna have discussions with the board, and this is how it's gonna work, and this is your budget. This is how we spend it. He'll know all that shit. He'll say yes to whatever, though, because I think he really wants the Liverpool job, which is key for me. The fact that he's there in press conferences going, give me the job. That's what I want. That's what I want. Someone hungry, someone committed, someone willing to let it all fucking go down the shit if he doesn't get it.
Yeah.
But yeah, all being well, it looks a positive move. And even the last few days, the thought of 3 games now at Jurgen Klopp, it all feels very like when he announced he was going. So I'm just still not asked who gets the job.
I'm not going to talk
I still can't believe it, lad. I honestly.
19 days, but who's counting?
Lad, honestly. But, as I have said, seeing him on the touchline, seeing him after some of the games, seeing him after Atalanta where he looked gaunt and he looked not Jurgen Klopp. He looked like he'd aged the next 10 years. You've got to find a little bit of happiness and joy in him getting the life he wants now. in being able to go on holiday without, taking phone calls with what's going on in pre-season. And, I know people go on about them being millionaires and they go to Australia and Singapore and all that on tour, but they don't see the places. He said that himself. They don't see anywhere or anything. They're just stuck in a training complex.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So he's about to go and travel the world, and that's what he wants to do. So you've got to show a bit of happiness for him that, if you love them, then you let them go, don't you? Fucking hell.
Yeah.
I'd keep them.
I
But
know. Me too.
it is what it is. It's happening. But as it's getting closer and closer, lads, like even I think today or yesterday, I was singing "I'm So Glad," and I was like welling up in that, just thinking, how's it happening? How's he going? But it's happening. So
it is. Yeah, let's not go into that because you'll start crying. So look, we've been much longer than I expected today, but let's touch on the Tottenham game before we wrap things up. And obviously, I think we owed them for the first game because we didn't deserve to lose that in the slightest. They're a weird team because I don't know, they don't really seem to like to defend, but they are dangerous going forward. They've got some good players, they have, but I think, again, you said it all along, if Liverpool turn up, we win. Just the problem is lately we haven't been turning up. But I don't know, I think we can take some positives and out of their game with Arsenal, the first half, where they've blew them away essentially, took the chances. They're open. They can be cut apart quite easily. Arsenal put 3 past them. I think Newcastle put 4 past them the other week. I think Villa, I think they've done well against Villa, but Newcastle put like 4 past them the other week. There's goals to be scored against them. It's just, as I say, the keeping them quiet. The other end is going to be hard for us, especially the form we're in.
Yeah, it could be about 4-4 because both defences aren't great. But Liverpool scoring 4 goals is also a fucking fairy tale, isn't it? Because we're just terrible up front. So
if Jadon Dan start, we might have a chance.
I know it sounds drastic, lad, but I've said it for ages now. I think Nunes is killing us. I'm not talking about him anymore. He depresses me. He shouldn't be in the team at the moment. The last 3 games, we need to win them. Start the kids. Play Jadon Dan's. Play Bobby Clark.
He's injured.
Is he again? Fucking always.
I know. Yeah. No. He put it on Twitter earlier today, actually. That he's basically, his season's over. So, which sounds dramatic, but then there's only 3 games left. So
not like a big miss, is it? But I just think we need some fresh blood in there. Make a few changes. Start Endo sitting in. Play 2 attacking midfielders who are going to get on the ball, but we're playing them and they're not doing it. So unless
Adrian and Golden, yeah.
Now,
Adrian and Golden, yeah.
Yeah, it's just like, no, do you know what? It's a case of, I think, I would go as far as saying start Quansah and Gomez have them in the team. Whether it's Gomez instead of Van Dijk or instead of Trent, whatever you want to do. Just shake it up to the point where it feels fresh, feels new, and the lads are going to try. Have Andy Robbo as your fucking captain leading it. Obviously, it's not going to happen. I'm just talking like I'm on fucking Championship manager. But the way we've been playing, how dead the performances are, how lacklustre they are, I'd just change it completely. I would just change it. I'd have the younger lads playing. I'd have Harvey Elliott playing. Not instead of Salah, I'd have him in midfield, trying to create. In the beginning of the season and last season when we were depending on Harvey Elliott to play that right centre mid role, he was doing all right, and him and Salah worked because Harvey Elliott wants to get the ball and go up the pitch. He wants to take the ball with him, and then you've got Salah screaming for it near the edge of the box in a position he can make something happen. So would I do that? I'd have Jadon Dan starting, and I'd have Diaz starting, and I'd go for it. Then you've got a Nunes and a Gakpo on the bench that can change it up if it's not working. But all we've got to do is just target them as we would have done last season and the season before. Attack them, go for the throat, and just be wary on the counter.
Yeah, to be honest with you, I mean, if Salah's going to start, and we're so intent on sticking with him for the rest of the season at the minute, even out of form, throw him up front, get him more involved in the game. Like, try something different. Go. It sounds drastic and it probably sounds a bit stupid at the same time, but try it. What we've got literally nothing to lose now anymore. This is the time when you can try something a bit different. And I've got Gakpo's been playing well on the left. I think he deserves to still be in the team. And Diaz, when he played on the right against Fulham, looked good. I think those two were. Diaz is the type of player who could play both wings. Gakpo very clearly needs to be on the left. Try Salah up front. If it doesn't work, 45 minutes, switch it back to normal.
Yeah, I'd agree. Yeah, so that's all you can do is make changes, whether it's to the system, to personnel, where they're playing, whatever. It just got to change. I'd go as far as saying like I've Enzo and McAllister in the middle, and that's it. I've go 4-2-3-1. I've Enzo. So when we're defending with a back five or a back six with McAllister, we're defending, completely defending. But when we're attacking, your two midfielders in the middle, and then you've got four up front. We've got no one round the box, lad.
No.
It's burning me head out. Like, Diaz has got the ball and will beat a man, and he'll have to turn around and go backwards because there's not a pass on near the box. Or Salah will do the same on the other side. Or you'll play a ball through the middle, and Núñez will be offside anyway. And then, or you'll have Szoboszlai, the likes of against Everton. The only pass on for Szoboszlai, about 5 times you've done it, was to scoop it over the defence into a dangerous patch in the area. And we just don't play that way. So, yeah, if you want the ball to bounce to anyone, it's Salah, innit?
Yeah, it is.
But,
and with Jota out, fuck off, Matt. With Jota out, he is, when he's on form, our most clinical finisher, but he's not gonna finish anything if he's not involved in the game. And like you said, out wide, he's just not involved in the game at all at the minute. So yeah, just try something different. Try whatever you want to try. Just give it a go. As I say, we've got nothing to lose. Champions League is practically all but secured now, with Tottenham getting beat by Arsenal. So just fucking go for it. Just put some effort in now. Is all we want. It's all we ask is try. Look like you give a shit. Because I think that's been the biggest worry lately, is that players don't look arsed. There's been a number of games lately where I've gone, only this player looks arsed. One game it was Robbo, the next game it was Diaz. It's like, why is only one player looking arsed every game? That's a big problem. And if we get that sorted, the rest will come. The rest will just fall in line itself. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's just that. That's what I mean. I can literally take getting beat by better teams. I can beat having mistakes like Conservation United when you're trying and you lose through lack of luck, something cocks you up, whatever. I can take all that. I can take being battered by better teams and beat by referees because it's not our fault. I can take it all. I can't hack us not giving a fuck and not looking like we're giving a fuck. Body language, we look arrogant. Van Dijk still strutting around as he does. Robbo screaming at everyone, and only Robbo. Diaz trying to grab the game by the scruff of the neck, and no one going with him. Even the likes of McAllister's, your Szoboszlai's, Endo's of late have been poor. Trent, attitude-wise, against Everton, piss poor. We're just lacking energy, and it's leading into the mentality of the team as well, where they don't look arsed. I don't think for 1 minute that they're sat there going, I couldn't give a fuck what happens now. Manager's leaving, we've lost the league. I don't think that's the case. It's just the way it's perceived at the moment because the style of footy we're playing. If they had a bit of energy about them. So even if the manager's saying, like, save your energy, keep it back a little bit, fucking no, go at them. Let's go for it. That's where your captain's there to say, let's get our foot on the gas now. Let's pick it up a level. Let's go through the gears. And that's what we need on Sunday, lad. We need to go at them. We know we're going to concede. We know for a fact we're going to concede. But can we outscore them? If we take our chances, yeah. And we keep saying there's going to be a game where someone takes it hard and where everything Núñez it goes in, everything Salah it goes in, stops. They stop getting blocked. They actually reach the goal, and we score a few goals, and someone's going to get it through. Spurs have conceded in a number of games, high amounts of goals. So there's no reason why we can't do it. We've just got to be clinical. I'm sick of having 20 shots and scoring 1. Have 4 shots and score 3, like the other big teams. You know what I mean? That's where we're at.
Yeah, it is. Look, it's a big game. I think it's just a big game with with the fact that we've only got 3 games left with Jurgen now, I think we've got to just treat everything like a big game now. Try and give him the send off he deserves, and not completely, go out with a whimper. But look, we can definitely beat them. We've just, like we keep saying, we've just got to turn up. So yeah, I think we'll wrap it up there today. It has been a long one with the new sort of look and things like that. So hope you have all enjoyed it. He's got something to say. He's always got something to say. Go on.
I'm gonna ask you. Yeah, I think you said on the last one we had questions that we couldn't fit in. So
I can't remember, to be honest. No, to be honest, I think the other one. Yeah, it was about a manager who's no longer coming in. I think you'll have to let me look. Silence. Can't find the message anymore. Right. Okay. So basically, it was when there was talk about Mourinho.
Oh, yeah.
And him being an absolute twat. And basically, he said, "Do we think we should look for a manager that'll bollock the squad and dent the egos of Klopp's chosen ones?" By that he means the players there that Klopp deems untouchable and refuses to drop. Salah is now drifting from that. Should the new gaffer be someone who'll strip the flesh off the bones when the shite in the way Fergie did and hold them to account to drive their own performances?
Fucking hell, it depends, because you can take Fergie's approach. I think Fergie was like that when they were a bit disrespectful to him, or they reacted in a bad way after a defeat or whatever. I don't think necessarily when they played shite, he gave them shit or hit them or anything. Like, it's perceived. Jurgen Klopp's shown that you can have the lovable approach in football and get the best out of your team as well. But by no means do I think Jurgen Klopp's a soft touch. You've seen him, the passion of him on the sideline. You've seen him running down the tunnel. So he strangled a few of them, 100%, guarantee you. But yeah, I think his only downfall is, and has been, the sentimental value to certain players, but not necessarily he can't be dropped, but he keeps them around when they're not doing what they should be doing. And if they start the next game, then they start the next game, whatever, and then they'll go out for a week, and then someone like Gravenberch will score, and then Gravenberch will go out the team for whoever he's replaced. So yeah, I want a manager to come in and have no favourites, and I think that's the best part of this. He's inheriting a team that is got so much talent in it, so much potential, so many young players who can, fight for a place now and get a chance. You've got lads who at the beginning of the season and in the summer we were going, he could get a fucking chance here, and then he just disappeared, whether it was through injury or through what they're seeing in training, not quite at the level. So yeah, I want the manager to come in and make no mates. I want him to come in and say, I'm the manager. This is me, what I've seen of you, what I've seen in training, and this is my best 11. It's for you, your job to take his place, fight for it, and that's what we need. That's what we haven't got at the minute. There's too many starters guaranteed without playing well. You could play shit 10 games on the bounce and you're still starting the next week. And there's obviously a few who are at the top, have been at the top of the game, who have been levels ahead of others at times, but they're not anymore, and they're still starting every week. So for me, that's what I want to see change. I want to see a manager to come in, fresh approach, and all guns blazing. I want a team to win, I want a team to succeed, and it doesn't matter which one of you starts. I'll pick my best team. So
yeah,
that's how it should be.
I think it's just, you've got your likes. You touched on it before. Alisson could shit in his hands and then throw the ball in the roof of the net and no one would bat an eyelid, and he'd start the next game. Van Dijk has been awful recently, and he started every game. Salah has been awful as well, and has started practically every game. It's these, and it was the same with, Fabinho. Everyone could see his legs were going, and he was starting every game. Henderson was not as much last season, but previously, when he hasn't been necessarily hitting the heights that he has in previous years, was starting every game. And don't get me wrong, sometimes it's out of necessity because we've had that many injuries in recent seasons and things like that. But I'm not. If a manager's got favourites in the squad, then fair. Then he's got favourites. That doesn't concern me. But I want it to be to a point where if Van Dijk has a bad game, like, and it costs us the game or something, don't start him the next game. And that's what Klopp would do. Don't just somebody's come in and don't do that.
It's hard though. It's got to be consistent. It's got to be like if Van Dijk has a bad game and costs us the game, then has another bad game, then has a struggling game, then you go, I'll take him out. If he just has a bad game, you take him out. It's like killing the morale in it. It's lowering your confidence. You're not able. But that's the level that we're competing against, where you can't make any mistakes or you get punished. So I get it. Yeah, you've got to have it. If players are making mistakes, you know, the likes of the Quanta one, that I'd imagine Klopp would have put an arm around him and said, you know, see where you've done this here and you haven't looked up before you've passed the ball to Fernandes. Look up next time. You know what I mean? Not necessarily, but he did. He took him out the team, didn't he?
He didn't, but the thing is, he didn't deserve it because
I agree. And since
he played well.
He hasn't been the same.
He played well, except the mistake.
Could be a confidence killer if you do it after one mistake. I think, say, Van Dijk, if he has a bad game and then another bad game, then another bad game, you go.
Which he has done.
Yeah, so that's when you go, right? But you know 100% when we play against Tottenham, he starts. And it shouldn't be that way. It should.
No, he doesn't deserve to at the moment.
You know, even the like I say about Alisson. Alisson hasn't really done anything wrong since he's been with us. He's made a few mistakes where he's cost us the odd goal here and there through trying to play out and stuff. But I think since he's come back, the 2 goals against Everton, the lack of again with him leadership, he's usually getting the ball from corners and bombing it forward. The lackluster of him, you know, Callagher was getting the ball at his feet and pinging them through the middle, trying to make things happen. Alisson's not doing that. I think if Callagher was playing how Alisson is now, and then Alisson was fit again, he'd just take him straight back out.
Yeah.
So I think there's favourites. I want to see a backbone in a manager, and I'm not by no means saying Jurgen Klopp hasn't got one, but I want to see him making them decisions where you go, fucking hell, he's jibbed the captain there. Because on merit, not because he wants to be Billy Big Balls. That's something Mourinho would have done. Mourinho come in, strip the armband off, for no questions asked, regardless of why, could have still been playing the best, and give it to fucking Momo Sissoko. Do you know what I mean? Just something drastic, something mad to show I am the boss. I don't want none of that. I want, listen, book your ideas up. If you carry on the way you are, the armband's coming off you, and it might benefit you because you haven't took it as you'd have hoped and ran with it. So yeah, you want bravery from the manager. You want everyone to know that he's not just the mate, he's also the manager, and that if you play bad, your position's under scrutiny. And at the minute, I don't feel like that's the case for majority of them.
Yeah, no, definitely. So yeah, Kev, thank Jay for reminding me about the question. But yeah, so like I said before, we're gonna finish up there. It's been a long one, and yeah, as I say, hopefully we'll have a bit more slot content over the next few days and weeks. So keep your eyes and ears peeled for that. And we'll be back after the Spurs game. It's just a game of a game of week. We don't play till the following Monday after Sunday, do we? So a bit longer with that, but yeah, it's nearly over. It's sad. Very sad.
It is. It's horrible that it's coming to an end, and just on the process, I've got a load of Jurgen Klopp stock. So if you want anything, get on scouserepublic.com. I've also got a stall at Hotel Tier before the Tottenham game. Hotel Tier's on Anfield Road. I'll be there with me Jurgen Lives Forever flag if you want to get your photo with it. And yeah, I'll have loads of gear there. So get down. But I was talking to someone before, lad, and they were saying, "Are you busy?" I was like, "Yeah, shocker, but I don't want to be because it's all my Klopp stuff, like, because he's gone, and I'd rather have shitload of stock filling my shed up because he decides to do a U-turn and no one wants the tops. I prefer that, but not to be, is it?"
Yeah, tops will always sell, lad. Don't worry. But But yeah, as I say, we'll be back next week after the Tottenham game. Hopefully we can talk about a win. But yeah, until then, up the Reds.
3-2 Liverpool, up the Reds.
Why would you do such a thing?
Come on, the Reds.